serious retaliation is coming from Russia. There are talks about NATO attacks being planned on Russian satellites, they say. According to Russian sources, satellite war in Ukraine between the West and Russia, and NATO attacks on Russian communication satellites recorded as Russia reports. And to respond, NATO and Ukrainian attacks on Russian communication satellites have been recorded, they say. According to a statement by the Russian Foreign Ministry in Kiev region, the Kiev region, together with experts from several foreign countries, began efforts to affect Russian civilian communication satellites, they say. This action is a violation of international law and has serious consequences. According to the representative of the Russian Foreign Ministry, Russia has the right to respond to this violation of international law in an appropriate manner, they say. They also note that Russia has all the necessary capabilities for a retaliation. They said this is an outrageous violation of international law. The Russian side has a right to respond appropriately. All the necessary opportunities for this are available, the Russian Foreign Ministry reports. And so far there is no information about which communication satellites were hit by the U.S., as well as how these actions were taken. Meanwhile, the representatives of the Ukrainian government did not speak openly on this issue. However, in the context of recent events in Ukraine, when the Kiev regime is actively supported by the United States and some EU countries, this statement by the Russian Foreign Ministry may lead to further tensions in relations between Russia, the West, and Ukraine. The U.S. is rapidly developing its military forces for space operations, Putin says. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said the United States is rapidly developing its military forces for possible operations in space, and that Washington really sees space as a possible theater of war. However, in the event, for example, that due to a U.S.-Russia military crisis, some satellites are disabled, quote-unquote, and consequently the global GPS tracking system hangs, this could lead to chaos all over the world. The loss of satellite control will lead to the inability to navigate hundreds of ships and aircraft while disabling millions of mobile phones, simultaneously creating financial Armageddon in the stock markets, as at the same time there will be problems even with ATMs. Terrible consequences, and that's why the processor of these weapons will have enormous power in his arsenal. The first blow in case of disabling satellites will be the area of the armed forces, as well as a way of conducting ground, air, and sea operations, which are based exclusively on satellites, something which is a very serious issue in the very near future indeed. Communications, navigation, and accuracy of guided missile systems, and many other matters that have a clear reference to space parameters will be most affected by such a strike. The issue of supremacy in so-called outer space is very, very serious. This is from Pentapostagma. I've translated for you for a Greek article. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box.